morning everybody, welcome and croeso. We're really delighted that so many of you have been able to join us and come from so many parts of Wales today to join us for the celebration for 10 years of devolution in Wales. It's so important to change the way that people think and behave towards the environment. Whether that's about litter, recycling, how we travel around, how we use resources. And you, all of you, have an incredibly important part to play in doing this.
Okay, off we go.
Hello, I'm Alex and I'm from Hotel Park.
I'm David, I'm from Breeding.
Child labour?
Yes, no! Volunteers there! Oh, come on, let's go to the team.
The reforestation, yeah.
So in your school, you use that?
It's a bit cheesy.
Cheesy, okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Wasn't really aimed at our age.
Who do you think it was aimed at then?
Older people.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
They're trying to push stuff across. They're trying to make it funny so we actually listen to what they're saying.
All right.
So very open and very transparent. And that's symbolised in a way by the glass. Everywhere you look, there's glass in this building. That serves two purposes. I'll come on to the second one.
And then again, we're happy to take questions. Certainly she's happy to take questions at the end as we've discussed. So over to you.
Okay, thanks very much, Leslie, and I hope you're having a really productive day. I know that you're only about halfway through, but I think you've been doing some workshop work this morning. And my job, I think, today is to tell you a little bit about the kind of policies we're developing in the Welsh Assembly Government. I think you've also been finding out what has been going on in Wales over the last 10 years since Eco Schools started. I'm very pleased that actually we've got about 90% of our schools now signed up to the Eco Schools agenda. Wales is one of only very few countries in the world which has a legal duty in relation to sustainable development. It's a duty we take very seriously, and it means that the way that we take decisions in Wales, we need to be thinking about their effect in the future, their economic effect, their environmental effect, their social effect, what it's like for the communities that you live in, and what it's like for the damage or otherwise that we're doing to the planet as well, how many resources we're using.
Biodiversity is of no relevance to them whatsoever. How do you propose to change those people? Is it by educating them or by giving them possible ultimatums?
Or maybe a bit of both, in a sense. I mean, it's such a fundamental question you just asked. Sorry, do you want to say your name and what school you're from as well?
Jane from Bryntegg.
Jane from Bryntegg, hi. I think you do need to do a bit of both. When you talk about educating people, I think you have to use a very strong evidence base.
It's quite easy to get to the young people and to educate them because you do it through schools. That's why we're all here today. How do you go about reaching the adults that are spread out all over Wales and all over the UK? They're not just in towns, but they're in rural areas as well. Because they're the people who are bringing up their children, and often the children will have the same kind of viewpoints as their parents.
It's not easy, because lots of people don't like the idea of government telling them what to do.
Do you think it's right that they put so much money into buildings when they could use the money otherwise to help the environment, like the £66 million project across the road?
You mean in terms of the Millennium Centre?
Yes.
Buildings. I think what's been really interesting is that, I don't know, are you getting a chance to look around the Senedd while you're here?
Yeah, we've done it.
You've done that already? Well, that was an expensive building, but it also is still the foremost government building in Europe for sustainability.
Hi, is there funding for our schools to have such big projects like wind turbines?
Not direct funding from us as an Assembly government, but through, for example, those projects that I mentioned, there is funding. Each of those projects has got £500,000 of government funding to actually look at how to take forward a whole set of community facilities.
So where can we start to promote the use of wind energy and solar energy? How can we do it?
Well, for example, you might well want to go and visit Our Lamond Tower and have a talk to them about the way that which they're engaging with the schools in their area. It doesn't come down as far as Bishopston, because you're off to the west of Swansea, but they may well be able to look at expanding their area of activity.
I wanted to talk to you about my experiences as a fair trader, as the only one fair trade producer in the whole of Wales who travels around everywhere, wherever you want me. As long as to do with fair trade, I can come.
Some inspiring individuals who have led the way in making a positive difference to our planet and the people and animals living on it. This is Cameron from the United Arab Emirates, and after reading an article in the Gulf newspaper that 1 in every 3 camels are dying from eating plastic and litter left in the desert by humans, Cameron decided to have an ongoing campaign, starting with an exhibition at school to make people aware of what littering is doing to camels. So Cameron's already featured his campaign in over 20 publications on news channels across the United Arab Emirates. He's produced bumper stickers, posters and a website to increase awareness.
We thought that sustainability should become part of the curriculum in schools, and each school should have a little plot of land, so the children can learn about farming and growing plants.
Put more cycle track to school.
At least all schools have at least one renewable resource to give themselves energy, and then eventually getting all schools to make their own energy.
We're going to encourage more public transport.
Our ideas were for more eco-forums for all the schools, so local areas and then go to the whole of Wales. And this would also help to create community links with it.
It's in secondary schools in particular. We didn't want it to be seen as kind of a choice. We didn't want it to be seen as just kind of a qualification either. It should be something that everyone can have a part in and that people can take valuable skills from and stuff that they could take on in life with them. It's not seen as a chore that people will kind of rebel against, but that they can enjoy and actually take something from.
Our last one then was making sure that it's unified when we have waste management across all the local authorities, making sure that every school and every school council is able to have a management for waste in place.